Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. This video, I'm going to be telling you all about my favorite things that are making life a little bit sweeter in some of the worst months of the year. February and January have been rough. I've actually been making this list since I want to say like November or December, and I just haven't gotten around to filming it because, you know, you could probably guess seasonal depression. These things have actually been keeping things exciting though. They have been making life a little bit sweeter, and I did want to like sit down and film this before I forgot to do it. And also in lieu of filming my January no buy low buy check-in, I also have the notes all typed up for that. It's kind of trying to get my thoughts and feelings together at the start of the month, and I'm going to film it, but frankly, it just didn't sound like the fun thing to do today. And since I took the effort of making my bed and putting makeup on, I figured, you know what, let's just talk about some fun shit for a little bit. Can we? Okay, let's do it. 20 things to talk about. I've been accumulating, like I said, this list for a while now, and these are like my tried and true faves. First category is like makeup, skincare, hair care. First up might be my favorite discovery of like all of these. This has been making my skin glow. I used it last night. It is the Prequel Multi-Acid Milk. It looks a little something like this. I have had such a struggle, I feel like, with skincare over the past couple of years. I have Sahara Desert dry skin, and I know people are like, oh, I'm like prone to a little bit of dryness. No, like it does not matter how many moisturizing products I layer onto my skin. I wake up and there's gonna be a scaly patch somewhere. It does not matter how occlusive, how thick my moisturizer is. It is a constant struggle. This is the one product that I have tried in the past like 5, maybe 10 years, actually eradicates dryness and doesn't fuck up my skin barrier, which is so rare. I've talked about a retinol product that I'm using. You know, I am still using that. I do still love that. So I kind of like alternate these. I usually do like retinol, and then the next day I will use this multi-acid milk, and then I'll do kind of like a rest day for my skin, if you will, to not overwhelm it, but the stuff is amazing. It is a creamy liquid formula that I put onto a cotton pad. I use this directly after cleansing my skin, and I do feel a tingle. I do feel a little bit of a burn because there are multiple acids in this milk, but this stuff has me glowing in the morning. If I have any texture from the day before, like I go through my day and sometimes I don't get actual comedones or acne on my forehead all of the time, but I'll get a little bit of like a Nestle Crunch texture that I'm not a huge fan of. And using this and then moisturizing in the morning, my skin genuinely is glowing. And I hate when people use that word because I think it's so fucking vague. Genuinely, my skin glows with this product. It's not very expensive. It is a pretty big package. Like I feel like it's going to take me a while to get through this. I'm obsessed, and I want to attempt to use this on my KP at some point to see how that does on my KP. That's something I'm going to try to attack, I think, in the summer months, because to be honest, it's hard enough washing my face and brushing my teeth at night at the moment. So like I'm not trying to add more complications to that, but I'm wondering if it would help with my KP as well, because this I can tell truly exfoliates, right? It doesn't just irritate my skin. I wouldn't recommend it if you have extremely sensitive skin, but if you have mildly sensitive to not at all sensitive skin, it is worth it. It is so worth it. It's so good. Okay, love it. Next up is a product that I did not purchase for myself. This is a product that was gifted to me for Christmas by my little sister. She's always like first to trends and like lets me know what's good, but I got the Rhode blush in Piggy from her for Christmas. It is this cool toned pink. I'm wearing it on my cheeks today, and it's one of the only cool toned pink blushes that I think actually pulls cool on my skin. Almost everything looks orange on me. I don't know what my undertone is. I feel like I'm second guessing myself. I watched a video recently that convinced me I have olive skin, and I don't think that's true, but I don't know. I don't know what my undertone is at this point. Regardless, I love this blush. It applies really well. I have been using it with this small flat top, almost like stippling kind of brush from Refer. I'll link that in the description below. I think they like peddle it as a foundation brush, but it's very small. I want to say like the brush head is about this big. I'll pretend I didn't just do that. It's a great brush and it works perfect for this purpose, but I just kind of stippled directly onto my blush and then put it on my skin, and I think it looks nice. I've tried to apply it directly to my face and then blend it with like my fingers or a beauty blender. Not my preferred way of blending it in, but I love this. I think the formulation is pretty good. I don't think that it's as special as everyone says that it is. I also think that the packaging feels very cheap for this product, so I do want to like let you know that. But I've been enjoying the color. I love the size of the product. I thought it's nice and portable. I don't know if I'd call it a pocket product because it's a little thick to be sticking in my pocket, but I like it. Next up is hair stuff. Y'all know I have been on a bit of a hair care journey. I feel like my hair has been loving the things that I have been doing, basically washing my hair more frequently, blow drying it every time I wash it. I just gotten rid of any scalp dryness and flakiness I've been experiencing. I feel like it happens every winter because I have such dry skin. My scalp gets so dry, but the things I'm doing have been really helping it. And initially when I was putting this list together, it was like, okay, shampoo and conditioner I'm using, I love, it's so good. As time has gone on, I still love it. I don't know that it is like holy grail status though. What is, however, is the mask mask that goes along with the Dove Bond Strength line. So currently I'm using the shampoo and conditioner. I like it. I think it might be a little too heavy for my hair. So I want to try a different line from Dove in the future once I'm done with this one. Let you know how that goes. But the mask, the serum mask that comes with this line is so lovely. It's moisturizing without being too heavy. And I think it's the kind of product that I personally would like to use if I know I'm going to be going for a sleek hairstyle the next day. I think it does a really good job at kind of laying down some of my flyaways. For reference, my hair is, I would say, kind of like a medium thickness. It's very fine and slippery, but I do have a little bit of texture because I have wave to my hair. So I try not to use too many products that are going to really weigh down my hair because I like a lot of volume and body. But if I were going for this kind of look, I would definitely use that hair mask the night before and just know that like my ends are gonna look really silky and beautiful. So I really do recommend the Bond Strength line. If you have slightly denser hair or slightly drier hair than I do, you're not prone to greasiness. I really do think the Dove Bond Strength line is amazing. Very strongly scented. I do need to warn you about that. It will linger in your hair for days at a time. But if you, like me, have slightly slippier hair or finer hair or hair that is prone to greasiness, I have like a dry scalp, but I'm prone to greasiness. Don't know how that makes sense, but the mask. Love the mask. Always going to keep that around. Very good. Okay, moving on to a shampoo I do love, do swear by, and I think might be responsible for most of the change in my hair, and that would be Nizoral. I'm not entirely sure how you say it, but it is a dandruff shampoo. And I've heard that this is good whether you have dermatitis or dandruff. I'm honestly not sure which I have. I use this before I use like a fun shampoo every single time I wash my hair, and it has been a game changer. I think it's a little pricey for what it is, and I might try going back to like Head and Shoulders as my first wash whenever I wash my hair, but this has been really, really nice. I think that it has really changed the game for me. I'm not like constantly scratching my scalp all the time, and I feel like my hair looks a lot better now. I say that. I don't think there's like an appreciable difference with the things that I have been doing to my hair, but I notice it, you know, and that's all that really matters. So I do like this dandruff shampoo. I think it's pretty good. And I do recommend doing a double cleanse situation. That has also been really, really nice. I know my scalp is getting very clean, and I think it's been helping remedy some of the flakes. Okay. Another thing I'm loving from Prequel is their cleanser. This stuff is really, really nice. It is like moisturizing, shall we say, alternative to something like Cetaphil. My go-to face wash for forever has been just regular normal to oily Cetaphil. I don't like the normal to dry because that one feels like an actual lotion and does not remove makeup very well, but the normal to oily version I've been using for years. I do like it, but in the wintertime I want something that's just maybe not quite as stripping on the skin. So I tried the Prequel cleanser and it is so good. Also, not leaving your skin feeling stripped. It is such a weird product to use. I feel like texturally you may love it or hate it, but it's one of those products that when I'm done washing my face, I don't feel like all of the oil has been stripped of my skin, but I also don't feel like there is a greasy film left behind. There's not an oil texture or an oil component to this, but there is glycerin included, so it is going to keep your skin from getting really dried out. So I love this stuff. I am honestly so impressed with the products I have tried from Prequel. At this point, I've tried the multi-acid milk, the cleanser, and then the pre-cleanse. I do really, really love the Prequel cleanser and would recommend it if you have dry skin or if you just want a really good cleanser that's basic, not super expensive, and then won't dry your skin out. So next up is a product that I have been absolutely flying through. I am obsessed with the Naturium Fido Glow Lip Mask. I know a lot of people like the tinted lip products from Naturium. I think they're pretty good. They're honestly really similar to me to the Rhode Peptide Lip Tint or whatever. They're all fine. Here's the thing that I don't understand about like that class of product that has become really popular is that it's literally just lip gloss. It's literally just lip gloss in a squeezy tube. I don't feel like I'm getting a lot of moisturizing benefits from those, but what I am getting moisturizing benefits from is the Glow Lip Mask. It is so delicious. It has a vaguely vanilla scent, nothing too in your face. It comes in a glass jar packaging. It feels so decadent and so rich, and I use this every night before bed, or if I'm bed rotting in bed and my lips are feeling dry. This has been saving my lips this winter. It kind of is vaguely Laneige lip mask-y, but I think it's less expensive and potentially more readily available. I think you can get it at Target. You can definitely get it online on Amazon. It's like 12 bucks and it just feels expensive. Like I love a product that feels really, really nice, really luxurious, but isn't going to break the bank. And this is one of those products. Now, don't get me wrong. I also love products that break the bank as well. And there's one on this list, but I also love stuff that like feels luxurious, but isn't $1 million. And yeah, you need this in your life if you're looking for a good lip balm. Nothing fussy, nothing fancy, but is going to leave you with like juicy, plump lips that are not dry and crusty and gross in the winter. Yeah. this is definitely for you. Next up is kind of a strange, not a strange pick, but something that like definitely caught me by surprise. So my family knows how much I love fragrance, and they really delivered this holiday season with fragrance. I got 3 new fragrances, which I was not expecting. I only really asked for one from one family member, and then I had other family members who just know me and decided to get me some. The fragrance I asked for, I'm still loving and wearing. I'm actually wearing it today. It is Shabby Chic from Giardini di Toscana. They do Bianco Latte. Not a fan of Bianco Latte. Am a fan of Shabby Chic. It's like a dirty rose. That's not what we're talking about. The kind of sleeper hit, the one that I have been reaching for again and again and again lately, is Commodities Milk, which I've known about for a while. I remember when this first came out, I want to say in like 2017. Like, it came out a long time ago, and I liked it back then. I thought it was fine. I never owned it, never felt like I needed to own it, but I smelled it recently at Sephora and was like tentatively interested in it. So I had it on this like running wish list I have that my family has access to, which is I guess why they decided to buy it for me. And I have been reaching for this again and again and again. Like, I had it kind of low on my list because I was like, I don't really need more fragrances. This isn't something that like I think is going to bring a ton of variety necessarily to my current fragrance collection, but it really has been filling a void for me. It's a really comforting, creamy, lactonic gourmand. It isn't something that feels too overwhelming. Like I kind of mentioned, I'm not a huge fan of Bianco Latte. I don't like things that feel aggressively caramely, aggressively sweet. This is just so warm. I don't know how else to describe it. It's like warm, it's comforting, it's not fussy. Whenever I don't know what to pick up, I am going to Commodity Milk. I'm grabbing it, I'm spraying it on, and I never feel like I'm making the wrong decision. I have a lot of perfume, and sometimes I will pick one at random if I don't know what I'm in the mood for, and I'll kind of regret it. Not that it's a bad scent, but it's just not really what I'm in the mood for. It can feel aggressive or sharp or whatever. I do tend to really like aldehydic perfumes, which I think kind of would check out with why sometimes perfume feels aggressive. But Commodity Milk, I just reach for this anytime I don't know what I want to wear, and I'm never disappointed with it. So I think this is a really, I don't want to say safe blind buy. I wouldn't recommend blind buying any fragrances, but if you're in the market for something that feels warm, comforting, and you tend to lean towards vanilla scents, but you don't want something that smells like a baked good, might I recommend Milk. It's a pretty nice pick, and I think it's maybe like overlooked for some of the more like buzzy perfumes. Okay, and then the last thing in this category is ridiculous. It was a gift, and I want to preface that all to say this gift is expensive and stupid, but I have been absolutely loving it, and me putting it on my favorites list is not encouraging you to go and purchase the same product. It is, however, getting you to consider to purchase a similar product, and that would be, of course, the Mason Pearson hairbrush. I received this as a Christmas gift unexpectedly. Again, it was like on my wish list, like my running wish list that I have constantly going at this point, but it wasn't something that I was like rushing out to buy myself, clearly, because it's stupid expensive. It has actually made a significant difference in my hair, which is why I have to put it on my favorites list. If you don't know, the Mason Pearson brush is one of those things that's like been around forever and should last you generations. It's like the one hairbrush to rule hairbrushes. It's a combination of nylon and boar bristles, and it's a really pretty brush. You've probably seen it on people's vanities, accompanying like really expensive, beautiful perfumes and like Tom Ford makeup and shit like that. And I got it in my head when I saw so many people talking about it on like Christmas wish lists. I was like, you know what? I'll add it to my wish list. Like, I wouldn't buy this for myself, but it is something that could be cool to have, and it has in fact been really cool. I hate to say it. I don't think that you need to rush out and get this particular brush because I think there are really good dupes for it. I'll leave a link in the description actually to Abby Young's video. I love her hair care recommendations. She has a video all about the best hairbrushes to not rip out your hair when you're brushing. And I have to say, Mason Pearson for me has been really nice because it is not ripping out my hair. I was starting to notice that my wet brush, which is like my go-to hairbrush, was ripping out more hair than it probably should have been. I don't know why I never saw this as like a problem. It's like one of those things that you don't know is a problem until you are like looking at it in the face, I guess. But the amount of hair that was winding up on that wet brush was a little disturbing. And now that I'm using the Mason Pearson, I'm not breaking my hair as often. Like, my hair is ending up in the brush less often. And as someone who is dealing with a little bit of like post weight loss hair loss, I am really trying to keep the hair that I have on my head, and I think that has actually been helping. I don't know if I believe all of this, like it distributes your oils and like does all this magical shit. I don't know about that, but I do know that it isn't ripping my hair out, and I have really been enjoying that. I think that, you know, maybe if you're in the market for a new hairbrush, or you have been noticing that your hair's been more fragile, I would really recommend looking into a hairbrush that's suited to your hair type. A hairbrush that might be pretty to be left out on a vanity. I know Oribe has one that's like half or a third of the price that looks really, really pretty. There's a lot of brands brands that do like dupes of this brush as well. You really do not need to go out and buy this particular brush, but I think having a nice hairbrush that's going to protect your hair is kind of very luxurious and very nice. So I did have to include it, unfortunately. Let's move on though, right? To like, I was gonna say greener pastures. I don't know if it's like greener pastures necessarily, but to a category that I have never done before, which is fashion. Y'all, I'm a fashion girly now. You can be a fashion girly anytime you choose. I'm not saying I have good taste in clothes or fashion, but I'm into fashion again and it feels so good. It feels so good. I used to really care about clothes and then didn't for a while and now I care again, which is exciting. And I'm just excited to share my love of it with you. I only have a couple of things on this list. I'm sure that's going to change going forward because there's a lot of stuff I've been loving lately, but these three things have been favorites for the past few months. First up are nice pajamas. I've told y'all before I have been purchasing mostly secondhand clothing, but I have also been getting some new loungewear sets and some new pajamas, and I was looking for things that felt high quality, that felt well made, that were made out of natural fibers. My loungewear is not, admittedly, but my pajamas are. I started shopping at Petite Plume. I don't know how I learned about Petite Plume, but almost all of their pajamas are made out of natural fibers, unlike a lot of these like really popular pajama brands. I was looking at like Eberjey and a couple of other brands, but they use a lot of like Tencel, Modal, that kind of thing. Petite Plume has gorgeous pajamas in a variety of different styles, patterns, you name it. Mostly like traditional pajama styles, 100% cotton, 100% silk, just depending on what you're looking for. I have 3 different sets from them. I have a shorts and short sleeve top set. I have their Olivia set, which is kind of like a wide leg cropped pant that is really beautiful. And then I have a silk set from them. All 3 are lovely. I feel so luxurious when I get into my pajamas at night, and they've held up really, really well to washing. Granted, I do not dry my pajamas anymore because they are 100% cotton and would shrink, but I have again just really been enjoying having an upgraded pajama drawer, and it's not something that I think anyone needs to again rush out and buy, especially if you have pajamas that are serving you well. But I really didn't have designated pajamas for a long time. I was someone who wore like size t-shirts to bed, and I just didn't feel my best. I don't know, I think that's like maybe one of my toxic traits. I feel like whenever the new year rolls around, I'm thinking like, how can I be a luxurious lady? How can I upgrade my life? You don't need to upgrade every part of your life. You really do not. But post weight loss, I just wanted some things that made me feel really good. And I will say having nice PJs has really been making me feel good. Moving on to a less expensive pick, my faux UGG slippers have been so lovely. I have been enjoying the hell out of these. I am someone who, I am very anti-dupe. If you really, really love something, like you love the original Uggs, you really want them, always go for the thing that you really, really love. I think like the dupe tends to be lesser in quality or is like missing something from the original that you really love. Like you're never gonna be 100% satisfied. However, as someone who has purchased multiple pairs of Ugg slippers over the past few years, I can say pretty wholeheartedly that they're just not worth the price. I don't know how much their product has changed over the years, but I have a pair of actual Ugg boots, Bailey button Ugg boots, that I've had since 2013. They're just now starting to get holes in the toes, but the interior of them has held up so well over the years. Whereas a pair of Ugg slide-on slippers that I've had for like about a year look like shit, feel like shit. I don't know what's going on with Ugg, but I really would not recommend buying actual Uggs these days. Just go ahead and get the dupe. I have like platform Ugg slide slippers, Ugg slippers, I guess. I think they were like $9 or $10 from Amazon. They're holding up better than the actual Uggs, which is disappointing, but it's one of those things where I really do think you need to like save your money. I think in general, slippers are something that you have to replace more often just because of the nature of the footwear, but regardless, don't waste your money. Don't waste your money. I would also be interested, I guess, in the comments, like if you have a favorite pair of slippers that you swear by, let me know, that like hold up really well over time, that are not wool. I would love to know. Okay, and then the last thing in the fashion category, I think the reason these have been a favorite is because 1, I've been living in them, and 2, I got them secondhand for a really good deal, is the J. Crew 1996 jeans. These are a straight leg jean that crop right at the ankle. I'm 5'5". I don't know what it is about these jeans. I saw them in a store window after buying a pair of jeans from Abercrombie, and I thought they were absolutely beautiful, but I don't know, something about J. Crew just feels like an intimidating store, which is stupid. Like, what is an intimidating store? But really wasn't anybody in there. I wasn't really looking to be social. I don't know. I didn't go in. I saw them in the store window and I was like, those are pretty. And so I did some research when I got home and I figured out what jeans they were. They're the 1996 slim crop jeans. I knew that these were like the jeans I had been looking for. And I told y'all about that in a vlog. I wanted a pair of high-waisted jeans, dark wash cropped. That is what I was looking for. And these are exactly what I was looking for. I don't know why it was so challenging for me to find a pair of like truly straight leg jeans that weren't baggy, that weren't oversized, that weren't super, super light wash. Maybe I was just looking in the wrong places, but I could not find the jeans I was looking for until I found these. I got them secondhand on eBay, I want to say, for like $50. Originally $150. Now I think they're on sale. So definitely definitely check them out if you have been in the market for like this style of jean, but they fit true to size, they're comfortable, there's a little bit of stretch in them, and I don't know, they've been my go-to jeans. I really, really love these. All right, let's move on to the health and fitness category. I probably could have put this in with fashion because 2 of the 3 things are fashion-y, I guess, things that you wear, but I digress. First up, we have the Lululemon Align crop jacket, or the CRZ version of this jacket. I have been having a hard time exercising when it's cold. I'm not really a cold weather girly, I'm discovering, especially when I don't have body fat. It's just not it. It's not fun. I don't want to get out of bed. And the idea of like putting on leggings and like a tank top, shiver, no thank you, okay? What's been game changing for me though is this Align jacket, which I put over my little matching sets. I feel like you could put anything over a matching set, right? You could put on literally anything and it would be fine. But I really wanted something that wasn't going to be too insulating because Texas does have a lot of like 50 to 60 degree days that don't necessarily require like a parka. And I also wanted something that was going to maybe like fold up really small because there's not a lot of room in a Pilates studio to like keep a really large jacket. So there's that. And I also just like the way it looks. Admittedly, I love the way that the cropped, specifically Align jacket looks. It crops right at the hips, which I just find to be really pretty. I like the way that it looks on my body. And I don't think you need to go out and spend money on the Lululemon version. I was gifted this for Christmas, but I do really love this style of jacket. I think that it's really useful to have if you're someone who exercises regularly, whether it's outdoors or, you know, in a fitness studio. And also if you're still cold, which I often am at the start of Pilates, I can like keep this jacket on and it's not gonna get in the way, you know, as opposed to a big ass jacket. So I don't know why I'm trying to justify it. To me, as I have been like building my wardrobe and bringing things into my life and in my house, I'm trying to not bring things in that only serve one purpose or are too specific, but this has actually been like really nice and kind of a game changer. And you know, sure, I have other jackets, but like this one, I've been enjoying for this purpose. Okay, speaking of comfort, I have been on the hunt for some new activewear sets to replace some of my older ones that no longer fit me, and it has been quite the journey. I didn't know if I wanted to invest in Lululemon or if I wanted to try some new brands. The conclusion I came to ultimately was that Lululemon just wasn't really suiting my needs whenever I had Lululemon items. I like the material of the Align fabric, but it's just not really what I personally want. I want something that is soft and brushed, especially when I'm doing something like Pilates or yoga, but I do want something that is going to really stay up. I feel like Align leggings always tend to sag on me, and I like something that has tummy control, for lack of a better word. Like I like to feel very secure when I'm working out. That's just my preference. I don't think that you need to have something secure, but like it's just what I personally like when I'm working out, okay? So I have been adoring my Beyond Yoga sets. I don't know why I've never purchased anything from them before. Maybe because there haven't been like stores near me, I'm not really sure, but I purchased a couple of sets secondhand and then I purchased one set new, and I have been so impressed with their materials, their fabrics, and their cuts. I think my favorite at the moment are their space dye leggings and their crop tank sets. It's kind of what they're known for, but I love that I could wear these to the gym to lift or to Pilates. The space dye fabric is really, really soft, really brushed, but it does give me a little bit more hold than an Align legging, and the tank top really surprised me. I have a larger chest, sadly, even after losing weight, and I was really wondering if a spaghetti strap built-in bra tank top was going to both look good and feel good on me. I can genuinely say this particular tank top, if you are like a D or smaller, is amazing. I mean, it could be great if you have a larger chest than that. I don't know, I can't speak to that, but I have been loving these tank tops. They're not cutting in, they're not digging in, but they're holding the girls in place. They're not too chesty. That's another thing, is like, I like to see a little bit of cleavage, a little bit of décolleté, but I don't want to see my whole breast necessarily. I don't want to be worried that my nipple's gonna show or pop out. Tank tops are great, leggings great, love them, swear by them. I feel like I'm late to the party here, but I really do love Beyond Yoga. And if you're looking for something to invest in, you're looking for activewear that's gonna hold up really well over time, but you don't necessarily love Lululemon's like cuts, colors, fabrics, whatever, might I recommend Beyond Yoga. They have some good stuff. And if you don't want to invest the money into the pieces, again, you can find them secondhand on Poshmark for like very good prices. And I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little hesitant to buy activewear secondhand. I was like, I don't know about that. Everything I've purchased has been absolutely lovely. One of the sets was new with tags and I got them for like half price. One set was not new with tags but was still in great condition. I am just like a secondhand bitch at this point. We'll talk about that later. But let's move on to my last health and fitness thing. This is more health, kind of sleep related. This motherfucking sound machine, I could actually point to it because it's back here. It's always out. I didn't know that I needed a sound machine. Yeah, I'm a little late to that party as well. It's like I'm discovering things that I'm sure people have had for years and years, but I got it in my head when we went to Disney that I needed a sound machine. I needed a sound machine because we were gonna be staying in one of the less expensive resorts that I'd heard was really loud and noisy and whatever. We slept like fucking babies in Disney and I couldn't tell if it was a sound machine or not, but once we came back from Disney, we tried to go to sleep and it just felt too quiet. It felt too quiet. quiet without our sound machine. I was like, hey, would you mind if I put this on at home? And Hayden gave me a little bit of shit for it. Now we cannot sleep without that thing. White noise machine, not very expensive. It's the portable one. We always have it plugged in and charging because I don't think the battery life is all that great, but it's amazing. All I do is turn on the power button. I don't adjust settings. I don't change anything. I just turn it all the way up and call it a day, and it has been lovely. If you are someone who like maybe isn't the best sleeper or is trying to improve your sleep hygiene, might I recommend a white noise machine. I love it. I think it's really, really great if you are someone who needs a little bit of white noise when you sleep. I mean, I think if you want white noise, you probably already are using one, but if you hadn't given thought to it or thought, oh, that's expensive, I'm pretty sure this one wasn't very expensive because it is a portable one, and I love her. I love her so much. So moving on to media, okay? Only have 2 little media things here. Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna add a 3rd one. This is gonna be 21 things I like. Sorry, I'm gonna yap today. First up, Rivals. Okay, I've talked about it in vlogs. It took me a while to get through Rivals. For some fucking reason, I thought there were only 6 episodes and I didn't watch the 2 final ones, which are arguably the best of the season. This television show is about a TV company, I guess, a TV network set in the 80s. David Tennant is like the boss man, and he brings in this Irish dude who is kind of like the host of a talk show, I guess, to be the host of a talk show on his network, and they start butting heads, kind of clashing, if you will, and it is delightful. There's so much juicy drama. People are sleeping with each other's spouses. It's so fun. It's so fun, so sexy. I was not familiar with the source material, but apparently these are based on a series of romance novels that were popular, I think, in the 80s and 90s by Jilly Cooper. It doesn't really make me want to go back and read her stuff. However, the show is so delightful. I'm really immersed, and I love a good age gap relationship with a shitty man. Oh, not in real life. Okay, but like in TV, I love it. Loved this. This was really fun. Next up, Sports Car by Tate McRae. I am not a Tate McRae truther. I don't really love her music. Sports Car changed it for me though. It's sexy, it's fun, I cannot stop playing this song. I'm sure a lot of you are aware of it. If you're not, go look it up. If you need a hot girl pop song to add to your playlists, this would be it for sure. And then the last thing in terms of media for me, might have guessed, if you've seen any of my threads recently on Threads, Deep End by Ali Hazelwood has changed my fucking life, you know? I have been deeply depressed. I shouldn't laugh, it's not funny, but I need it to cope. I have been deeply depressed and not much has been exciting to me. I've been reading books that I think ordinarily I'd rate higher, but I'm just not rating as high because I'm depressed. Deep End was 5 stars. Deep End was so sexy and delightful, and I don't know if and when I'll recover, okay? This book is about Scarlett and Lucas. One is a diver, one is a swimmer, doesn't really matter who's who, but they end up in a sexual relationship because they find out that the other is into kink, like they're both into kink, and so they explore that together. It is not all that kinky, but it is hot as fuck. Just talking about it makes me want to pick up the audiobook again. I did listen to the audiobook of this. I got it from Libro FM, and let me just tell you, it was a delight and a half. Also, you know who is a delight and a half? I take a picture, and I'm gonna insert it into the video right here so you can see what I'm looking at. A delightful, truly delightful boy. Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, yeah. If you're here not from my other channel, I read and review romance for a living. It's very sick. It's a very sick job to have. But Deep End is amazing, okay? And most of my recommendations are gonna be romances here, so. Okay, moving on to intangibles, okay? I've got 4 intangibles because life is great, life is sweet when we love things, but it's especially great when we love things we don't have to buy. First up is my curated makeup tray. Talked about this in a vlog. It has been delightful. I get so influenced by girlies on TikTok, and I keep seeing girlies with like, you know, really minimal makeup collections that fits into a little cup or fits on a little tray, and I'm not that cool, okay? I'm not that cool. Simply, I'm not that minimal either. I have like a whole makeup bag full of shit, but what I can do is curate a little tray to pretend to be like those girlies for a little bit, to cycle through some of the makeup I don't use as often, to display some of my things, to feel like one of those girls, to cosplay as that girl. You know, I don't have to be her, but I can cosplay as her. I've been putting my makeup on this like clear acetate tray in my bathroom, only like a selection of my greater makeup collection. It's been so nice. It has been making getting ready in the morning so much easier. I love that I can see everything. I love that I'm using products that I probably wouldn't reach for otherwise. And I don't know, it just feels glam. It feels like a game changer. I think if you have been bored with your products, but you don't want to buy something new, maybe display it in a different way. Maybe switch up where you're putting your makeup on or doing things. I think that's a really nice way to have fun without buying things. We're trying to do more of that, you know, on my like no buy adventure. So I'm enjoying that. Similarly, getting dressed every day. Okay, this is not exactly an exciting outfit. In fact, this is a sweater that I stole from my dad and a pair of like lounge pants, but it's better than like an oversized t-shirt and no pants, right? Like I did get dressed today, which I'm pleased with. Getting dressed every day has been pretty fun. I have enjoyed experimenting with my style, and I think there is some truth to this idea that the way that you figure out your personal style is not by buying things, but is in fact by wearing the things that you have. And I have to agree, it's so easy to like go on Pinterest and pin a bunch of different things and get the idea that like you are really into boho. And if you actually like wear your clothes, you realize you're not actually, you know, super into boho, or like that's not the things you gravitate towards. I don't know. I think there is some truth to this idea that getting dressed every day is not only good for your mental health and your spirit, but also for your style. I think that it helps you actually discover your style. And I'm actually going to do a video at some point in the next like few weeks. Actually, I think it might be next week, on how I have been discovering my personal style. And this is part of it. It's like one of the elements, but I have a lot more to say about it, and we'll get deep then. But getting dressed every day has been nice. And I don't know why I feel like I need to tell you that, especially if you're going into an office. You're probably already doing this. But for all my work from home girlies, there is some benefit for sure. Mildly peasant-y behavior, okay? Mildly 16th century peasant behavior, but soup and soup cubes. Hear me out. I have been having a hard time. And I know that y'all are struggling too. Some of y'all have said that you are, okay? There's 3 of us. There's a half dozen of us who are depressed this January, February. Soup has been a game changer for me. I don't cook, my husband does, and he meal prepped me a shitload of soups. I happened to buy some really nice soup storage, and I have been relying on soups for lunch almost every day, and oh my god, game changer. I'm not new to soup, okay? I've been eating soup since I was a wee lass. However, I kind of got lost, you know? I was like, oh, I need something fancy for lunch every day. I need like, you know, a protein and some sides. Sometimes it's just nice to have some shit on deck that tastes good and is easy, okay? And soup is that for me. And I've linked this recipe probably a dozen times at this point, but the creamy vegetable soup recipe from Give Me Some Oven is my shit. It's got beans in it. It's got every vegetable you could possibly think of, all blended up into this creamy mixture that tastes vaguely of tomato soup, but slightly less acidic. And that with some crusty bread, I mean, it's just so satisfying. It has enough protein in it to where I'm feeling like, you know what, I'm doing something good for myself. It's got fiber. God, I love soup, okay? And the soup cubes are really awesome too. They are these like silicone molds that you just pour some soup into, put the lid on, throw it in your deep freezer, and you've got soup for days. Yeah, you can reuse it over and over again. So, would recommend. Also, they're like serving size portions, right? You don't have to like think about it. Love it, love soup cubes. Game changer for me personally. And then lastly, you didn't think I was gonna make a video and not talk about secondhand shopping. I keep talking about it because it is so important to me at this point in my life. I don't ever see this habit changing. Secondhand shopping has been a game changer. And I know thrifting has been a thing for a while, and I've watched off and on girlies who were like constantly at the thrift stores, and I guess I just had it in my head that you had to have a very particular aesthetic to secondhand shop. I've never had any opposition to secondhand shopping because it's gross or like other people have worn it or whatever other objections people have to secondhand shopping. I've never had those objections. It's always just been like, I see the people who thrift and talk about it online, and they have really like cool eclectic style, or they like really oversized menswear. And from my experience secondhand shopping in person, I feel like I can only find those kinds of things, right? And I'm like, oh, it makes sense as to why people secondhand shop who have those kinds of styles, because it like works for them, and it wouldn't work for me who likes really boring, frankly, like preppy fitted shit. Like I just don't think I'll be able to find stuff. I haven't found stuff in the past. Online secondhand shopping is the answer. And so amazing. And I have found my go-to sites and my go-to brands and things that I love to secondhand shop. But genuinely, I have purchased, I think, okay, shoes is a different story, although I do buy secondhand shoes as well. But almost everything that is my wardrobe at this point is secondhand, and I love it, and I don't think I could give it up. Like I said, my number one go-to is eBay. I love eBay's search functionality. I feel like people on eBay are more willing to accept offers. I love how quick most eBay sellers ship things. eBay is amazing. Sometimes I will use Poshmark, sometimes I will use Depop. I pretty much never use ThreadUp because I feel like their search function is shit, and their pictures, it's like hard for me to picture like what things are gonna look like, but secondhand shopping has been so lovely, and I feel like I have been able to build the kind of wardrobe that I've always dreamed of, the kinds of pieces that I've always been into at a price that is not absolutely bonkers. Like I've been getting some stuff that I probably have like seen before or have been interested in getting, but like could never possibly afford or like never wanted to even consider. Like I'm sorry, I am not going to spend $250 on a blouse. I'm just not going, that's not what I want to do. But I want a high quality thing. I want something that is made out of natural fibers. I like don't want the dupe you know, of things. And I've been able to get things for like a quarter of the price that they are originally. And I'm obsessed, okay? I'm obsessed with secondhand shopping. It's actually dangerous, and I'll talk about that more in my no buy video, but I don't have any regrets about my secondhand shopping, and I'm gonna continue doing it. If you are someone who's also trying to build a wardrobe, or you are looking at your wardrobe and you're like, this shit's all polyester and it's also not shit that I actually want to wear, eBay, please go to eBay, go to Poshmark, go look online, search by fabric content, search by your favorite brands, like do what you need to do. You're gonna find some really amazing stuff. And hopefully I have dispelled, I guess, some of the misconceptions that I think maybe other people have. Maybe not, but God, it's good. And a lot of the time you can find things new with tags too, if you're like opposed to like wearing things that people have worn before. So yeah, good stuff. Love it. Amazing, 10 out of 10. I feel like I've discovered a new world, so. That's it. Those are my favorites from the past few months. It was fun to just talk to y'all about what I like. I feel like I'm in higher spirits now. Next Tuesday, on Tuesday, you're gonna get my low buy, no buy check-in, okay? And we're gonna talk about some of the bad parts maybe of secondhand shopping and how my no buy has been going. Spoiler, decent actually, surprisingly decent, but yeah, that's it. That's it for me. I'm gonna stop yapping. Love y'all so much. Thanks so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments what your favorites have been this month, and I'll see you in the next one.